Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So excited you're here with me today. Today we're going to talk about the best job that I've ever had in my entire life. Being a dad. We really got to get a bumper going, like a nice little, we really got to get that going. Can you?
I eat chicks. Hey, nom 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 nom. Well, I'm restless.
So, on this channel, I told you we're going to talk about faith, family, and films. We talked about the faith in the films a little bit. We kind of took a dive into that on Hollywood versus Christianity, part 1. And part 2 is coming, I promise. It's been a crazy couple weeks here at the Stubbs household, but I'm working on it and it's gonna be coming soon. But I want to take a moment and talk real quick about being a dad and how important that is. So I have a 2-year-old, a little over 2 years old, 2-year-old boy named Foster. He is the best, he's hilarious, and also a turd at the same time. Parents, you'll understand, he's 2, so you know, there's that. We also have another one on the way. That baby's gonna be making its arrival in October, and I say it's because we are going old school and we are not finding out the gender until it makes its way into the world. So that's terrifying as well. But yeah, so I've learned in these last 2 years of being a dad just how important my role is, especially as Foster has gotten older and he has begun to just basically copy everything that dad does. And so that scares the poo out of me, right? This is family channel, so that scares the poo out of me, like terrifies me that I may do something wrong, or if you know, I'm gonna do something wrong. Dads, if you're a dad, you're gonna fail, you're gonna screw up, but that's okay, right? It's part of it. So it's terrifying because I know that he's watching everything that I'm doing, right? But also whenever I put it in the perspective of how to navigate media in our culture with Foster and the new one on the way, that's also terrifying because have you seen some of the awesome TV shows and movies lately? I would say that they may be a little more provocative than I would want my kid to be exposed to, right? And God knows as he gets older and becomes a teenager, what hurdles we're gonna have to jump. But it's a tightrope that we have to walk. So growing up as a kid, me and my siblings, we were not allowed to watch your Friends, your Seinfeld, your How I Met Your Mother, things of that. Like that was strictly taboo and not allowed in my house growing up. And so as I became older, became a teenager, moved downstairs, I started, trying to venture, in and find some of these shows that all my friends were talking about. But then as I went off to college, or college age, because I didn't go to college immediately, so yeah, whatever, everybody has their own path. But as I moved out of the house, I literally just binged everything. I binged Friends, I binged How I Met Your Mother. I just jumped straight in just because it was so taboo growing up in my house. And my parents are great, by the way. Nothing against them, it was just how they chose to handle media, and that's totally fine if that's what's best for your family. But I feel like as a parent that we got to toe this line of definitely setting some very healthy boundaries because gosh, there's some things that are all over Netflix and Amazon Prime and whatnot that I definitely do not want my kid watching, and I would think that you feel the same. But we gotta toe that line of having healthy boundaries and also giving them some freedoms, right? So that whenever they are old enough to make their own decisions and move out of your house, they don't just completely immerse themselves in these things that were so taboo in your home. So I would love to hear from you guys. I would love to hear from you as parents, how you're towing that line, or if you think that I'm just totally ridiculous in my thinking, that may help me as a parent. So I would love to hear some feedback. But also if you're not a parent, I want to hear from you about some of the freedoms or some of the restrictions that you had in your home growing up and how that's affected you. If you're a believer, I would love to hear how that's affected you. If you're not, I would love to hear how that's worked for you and your path and your journey. So yeah, so nothing too crazy today, nothing too deep, if you will, although it could be, because I think that as dads, it is uber important for you to be plugged in, to be present in your home, and to be able to set some of those healthy boundaries and just guide your kids right in a good direction. And so so go ahead, comment below, let me know some of the things that you have put in place if you were as a parent for your kids. If you're not a parent, I would love to hear some of your stories about how your parents helped you navigate media. I would love to get this conversation going. I think it's super important. I think it's one that I mean, it could absolutely set the tone for a lot of our kids and for the generations to come, especially with the way that culture is heading. And yeah, like, we are called as believers to be in the world, right? Jesus did not separate himself from culture. He simply knew how to navigate it. And so I think that for us as believers, for us as parents, we should be doing the same thing. And especially in a world that is so driven by media, we can't just sit back and just hope for the best. We have to be vigilant, right? We have to be on the forefront of helping our families navigate through some of this. So go ahead, let me know, like, subscribe, do all those things. We got Hollywood versus Christianity coming, part 2. That's coming soon. Also, I'm gonna be doing a quick like, what do fathers want for Father's Day video. That'll be up very soon, because Father's Day is right around the corner. So yeah, we got a lot of great stuff hopefully coming soon. And so stay tuned, like, subscribe, comment, share, all that stuff. Put me on your top friends on MySpace, whatever it is that you're doing, do that. And I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. And yeah, so we'll see you next time.